Coming at you live from my home studio in beautiful La Puente, California. This is the All Dodgers podcast. Hey, another night, another unexpected, unplanned live stream, but things keep happening and our pets' heads are not falling off. What is going on, Clinton Nation? Happy Wednesday, Weird Weenie Wednesday to you all. We got a Teoscar Hernandez reunion update thanks to David Vassegh. We got some Juan Soto, more Juan Soto news, of course. We don't need to dive too much into that. Maybe a little bit. We'll talk Juan Soto. We'll talk everything. Whatever you guys want to talk about. Oh, Donnie Boy says, are we live? We are live, oh, Donnie Boy. Plus, friend of the show, Derek Lewandowski of Pinstripe Territory joined. So technically, we'll get into it. We got some voicemails as well. I might not get to the voicemails because I didn't load those up, but I'll have time. Anyways, all that and more on another edition of All Dodgers Live. Let me push some buttons, do some things here. What's going on? Chat, sound off in the comments. Let me know you're representing your Dodgers fandom tonight. Yeah, full disclosure, I had recorded something with my friend Derek. I have this narrative I want to kind of nip in the bud or explore the whole idea of why there's a large group of Dodger fans that kind of hate Juan Soto, or they're worried about his character, worried about the clubhouse poison. So I was recording that, and I have another recording, another interview tomorrow I'm going to film. Again, full disclosure, that was the initial plan. I wasn't going to go live. I was going to record, put something together, put it out. But instead, we got some news. We got some news, guys. We got some Teoscar Hernandez news. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you want Teoscar Hernandez to be back in Dodger Blue, because, hey, you know what? It just might be happening. You guys want to get right into it, because I think it could be close. Like I said, AM 570 Dodgers insider David Vassegh reports today. He was on the news on the radio earlier tonight saying this here. His understanding, talking to people around the league, is that they expect Teoscar Hernandez to be re-signing with the Dodgers. A lot of people around the league as well expecting that. Industry insiders expecting that reunion. We all want that reunion. I think a lot of us really, really want that reunion because Teo and Dodger Blue is just a lot of fun. They are engaged, and the quote there, trying to nail the final decisions of the contract. That's the intriguing part. That's what makes this whole thing right now very newsworthy. And at the same time, when we're talking last night about the Dodgers being in the mix on Juan Soto, there's a $600 million deal. The Dodgers now confirmed are in that mix thanks to Jeff Passan, ESPN. He does say, like Ken Rosenthal alluded, but might have missed some of the wording, or some people missed the wording in his article last night. There were 5 teams that are in the mix on Juan Soto, and they're all at or above that $600 million mark, and somewhere 12-year plus deal. But things are looking good. To end it there, things are looking good for Teoscar Hernandez and the Dodgers to be back together. And again, I believe that's what a lot of Dodger fans want. I don't know that it's an either or. I would assume it's an either or. I can't imagine the Dodgers bringing back Teoscar Hernandez and also landing Juan Soto. But then again, fuck it. It's a world we live in where they could just manufacture money, and you want to go out and give yourself a 99% chance to win a World Series in 2025, you get as much talent as you can. But if it's just Teoscar and some other pieces, then I really, really love that as well. I want thoughts, but I'm going to mix in the other part of the equation here, the Juan Soto stuff from Dave Vassegh today on AM 570 radio. This was his quote. I don't have the screenshot for this one, but you get to listen to me read it either way. Vassegh telling the guys, Petrus and Money, that Friedman and Gomes are doing or did do their due diligence, met with Scott Boras and Juan Soto. He says his understanding that this is nearing a close, and the Toronto Blue Jays have made a serious offer. Once again, the Blue Jays in the mix. They're really hoping Juan Soto is on that plane this time. But Blue Jays, they have some money to spend. Of course, the New York Mets make a lot of money. Red Sox in the mix, but less so. This, according to Vassegh, I know a lot of people thought Big Papi, with his Santa Claus type of laugh, was going to lure Juan Soto to Boston. This is all the quote from the radio. I don't know the exact numbers, but my understanding is it's coming down to the wire, and wouldn't be surprised if Juan Soto signed before the winter meeting started on Sunday, officially kick off on Monday. But that's where the situation is at. There's more from Vassegh. We don't need to dive too much into it, but basically how I'm reading this, and I don't know if a lot of y'all are feeling the same way. I'm hearing, I'm seeing, I'm smelling that Teoscar's coming back. Juan Soto's most likely staying on the East Coast. Let's see. JF says DV got the inside scoop. Listen, Vassegh, he talks a lot. I talk a lot, but he's also been right on a few things. He was the only guy saying very early in the 2021-2022 offseason that Freddie Freeman was in the mix. It was, Dodgers were a likely landing spot for that man. Also, we're going to be paying attention too if any deals happen here while we're live. But if you guys see anything, do sound off in the comments, because I panic when I see Jorge De La Cruz in the chat saying Blue Jays $700 million. I mean, if they want to land somebody like Juan Soto, it could be in that realm of possibility. Absolutely could be in that realm of possibility. But I trust Vassegh with some of the stuff, and I definitely trust him with Teoscar Hernandez. He gets to know these guys. If it comes to re-signing some of these players, he has a relationship with these players. I'm sure he has an idea. The Dodgers won't tell Vassegh very much, but he'll hear from the players. He'll hear from agents, and if I'm a betting man, I'm betting on. I'm assuming at this point it's just, like he says, that last little bit of contract language, and Teoscar Hernandez back in Dodger Blue. And I love that. If I have my way with this, and we're going to get some more thoughts, because the door is not closed. It's not fully closed on Juan Soto, of course. Stranger things have happened. So I do want to do more due diligence and show my interview, my chat with Pinstripe Derek. So we'll have that in just a second. But if I have my way about it, I take Teoscar Hernandez back, bring back Kike Hernandez, Blake Trinan, Walker Buehler, maybe add one more bench piece. I would take all of that over the money you use on Juan Soto. And I think that's been a big narrative for fans. And this is something I talked to Derek about as well. That's been a thing where Dodgers fans, I think a lot of us, and I say us because I lump myself into this, I think it's better to have a lot of stuff than one good stuff. Stupid way of saying it, but you guys get my point. Diane Schroeder in the chat says, I love it. Teo is so good for the Dodgers locker room. That is a big factor too. And again, this is a big reason why I wanted to do what I was planning on doing tonight, and talking to Derek Lewandowski, Pinstripe Derek. He covered Juan Soto this year. He watched Juan Soto in and out around that Yankees team. I want to know what does a Yankees fan, who now Juan Soto's a free agent, probably not returning. What does a Yankees fan, what does a Yankees, reporter here online, whatever you want to call us, YouTuber, what does he think about Juan Soto as the character, the person, all that kind of stuff, and we'll get to that in a second. But Soto, to spoil it, the rumors, like the kind of, I don't know if it's rumors. It's what is the word I'm looking for here, guys? It's like this. A friend Jeff Snyder said it great in the All Dodgers Discord earlier tonight. The idea that Juan Soto lacks class or lacks character, but I'm not seeing anybody online confidently point to where the hell they got that narrative, where they get this idea from. Maybe it's just, he was a Padre. Maybe we're stuck on that. But I flash forward, something I say here to Derek in just a minute. I flash back to 2022 All-Star Game. Dodgers fans, right field pavilion, chanting "Future Dodger, Future Dodger" to Juan Soto. There was a point in time when we were enamored with Juan Soto. Dodgers fans really wanted him to be in Dodger blue, and now it's like, oh, he was a Padre, and I could understand that. But I think it was more of the As Richie Flores will say, it's kind of the Manny Machado stench. It's all the other stench that's stuck to Juan Soto rather than him as a person. But then again, even I don't know. I don't know the kid, and that's why I want to ask people about it. But where we're at right now, Jenny Vega saying the Teo is legit. I love that. Kevin Yuha saying he just signed. He has not signed yet. Would love to see that happen during the stream. That would be a whole lot of fun for all of us here, but could be coming soon. That's the big thing. Could be coming soon, hopefully coming very soon. Teoscar Hernandez re-signing with the Dodgers. But without further ado, what I would like to do is first tell you guys about, I'm already late on it. I messed up on this one, so I apologize to Bet Online, but I got to tell you guys, Bet Online continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, Bet Online provides you with all the action and the ability to watch games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the football to the NBA to the college basketball, NHL, UFC, and so forth. BetOnline's got it all. Head to BetOnline today. Don't forget to use promo code BELIEVE, BLEAV, for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here. And I'll tell you one more time here. Guys, we're dangerously close to 8,500 subscribers. Please help us get to that mark. Very much appreciate you for it. Thumbs up, do all those kind of things. But we're waiting. We're waiting on Soto. Or sorry, well, I guess we're waiting on where Soto falls, and we're waiting on when Teoscar Hernandez resigns. But let's listen to my conversation, my chat with my friend Pinstripe Derek about a wealth of things, but mostly centered around Juan Soto. All right, guys, you see him there on the screen. This is producer, director extraordinaire on the Foul Territory Network, host of Pinstripe Territory, someone I really enjoy watching here on this YouTube machine. That is Mr. Derek Lewandowski. And if I was more prepared, I would have had the button ready for you to give you the clap. But listen. First, thanks for coming on. Thanks for helping me try to answer this question about Juan Soto. But first, I got to ask you, Dodgers fan, Yankees fan, how has the offseason been treating you in the wake of this World Series?
I tell you what, I feel like you ever see Rocky 2 where Rocky just feels defeated and he doesn't want to train and he doesn't want to do anything? That's how I felt for about the first month. That's for maybe the first couple of weeks. I just felt lethargic. I didn't want to do anything. I was depressed. I was sad. I can't believe Judge dropped that ball. I can't believe we didn't cover first base. What's going on here? I can't believe Freeman walked us off in game one. And then I started to come out of it. Once we start talking next year, start talking future, it's like, okay, turn the page. It's a whole new season. Now we got to fight Ivan Drago. It's time to fight. It's time to, it's time to get back in the gym. That type of thing. So, I've been dealing with it. I've been playing some MLB The Show and living out my championship dreams that way.
Yeah, it's get up, Rock, come on. Yeah, I understand that trust.
I ain't hit no bell.
And after
son of a bitch.
And after the last couple of off seasons for Dodgers fans, I mean, early off seasons, at least, Yankees made it to the World Series. They've been good. They've been struggling at different times. They should have been better. You have some foundational pieces there, but also, hey, Yanks missing a big piece right now out in free agency. We don't need to pussyfoot around this. We know the reason I brought you here. We got to talk Juan Soto. I'll set the stage a little bit here. We understand, $600 million, north of $600 million is the report, possibly 12 years longer, assumed opt-outs after 3 or 4 years. Yankees in the mix, Mets in the mix, Boston, Blue Jays in the mix, Dodgers also remain in the mix, and they're all figured to be in the mix according to multiple reports. For Dodgers fans, there's this narrative that's grown, and we were talking just a second before hitting the record button here. There's this narrative that has grown since fans were chanting future Dodger to Juan Soto at the 2022 All-Star game at Dodger Stadium. They hate him. There's a lot of fans that hate Juan Soto. They don't want to see Juan Soto in a Dodger uniform. They think he's some sort of clubhouse poison, clubhouse cancer, that he'll ruin the team in this great era, the Shohei Ohtani era, where they're supposed to go out and win 150 World Series and all that. We saw Tommy Kahnle today on Foul tell the guys, like, look, he's a great guy. He's awesome, great clubhouse guy, blew me away, great teammate, great player. Yeah, you're probably going to say that, especially when your team is trying to bring him back. I need to know. Listen, you covered this team, covered the Yankees all season long so well as you do there on Pinstripe territory, formerly New York Yankees or NYY recap. Give me some insight. What's like your taste? Bad phrasing of Juan Soto, the player, the person in the clubhouse.
Sure.
And I can understand too, like even after that loss, like he has to switch on his Scott Boras cap a little bit. Some of the things he had in his post game scrum with media, not to like I want to focus right now. No, we're already looking forward to the offseason, looking forward to free agency. But yeah, I want some taste, some thoughts here on Juan Soto.
So let me start by saying the New York media is always looking for conflict within any of the clubhouses of any of the New York teams. You talk about the rivalry between Gehrig and Ruth going back that far, and then Mantle and Maris in the 61 season where they're both chasing down Ruth's record. And then it was, Reggie and Thurman in the 70s. And then, Jeter and A-Rod. And usually where there's some smoke, there's some fire. You find out that, there were a lot of rivalries at times between these guys. You saw none of that this year with Judge and Soto. Apparently, there's been rumors that there was something between Soto and Tatis or Machado, but it seems like that was kind of overblown because all I saw from Juan Soto was a great teammate. Every time the camera would pan to him in the dugout, he was smiling and laughing with somebody. And he's a guy as a player who. We know what he is offensively. He's an amazing offensive talent. He's got a great arm in right field. The only chinks in his armor are that he thinks he's faster than he is, so that leads to a lot of times getting thrown. I had the same problem. I was slow, but I was like, man, but he would get thrown out a lot on the bases, stupidly. And then also, he's not a great defender, especially going back on the ball. I thought the Yankees really missed out by not playing him deeper. They would have him played kind of shallow to maximize his throwing arm. He threw a lot of guys out at second, a lot of guys out at home, but he's not good at going back on the ball. It led to some triples. We saw one in the World Series. So while he's a great player and a great teammate, I've been hung up all winter about whether or not it's really in the Yankees' best interest to spend $600 million on this guy when you got so many other big contracts. So while I'm rooting for the Yankees to sign him, it'll be great for me. It'll be great for my show. It'll be it'll be very fun next year to award him player of the game 40 times or so. But if they lose him, I think there's a chance that the Yankees could reassemble an even better team by spreading some money around, by going and get a Max Fried and maybe, somebody else. But make no mistake, he is an excellent player and an excellent clubhouse guy. I didn't see any hint of, a cocky attitude. Mm-hmm. Some guys don't handle the New York media well. Whenever he had a bad game, which was rare, he would own up to it. He would stand in front of his locker and take the questions. He was never ducking out. He wasn't one of these guys who posts stupid stuff on social media. He posts pictures of like his gaming setup. Like he's a gamer. He's not going to go out. He's not Doc Gooden going out and doing blow at 3 a.m. in Queens. He's not that guy, right? He's a kid who's into gaming and hitting baseballs. And there's really not a lot to that. And keep in mind, 26 years old. Clint, who were you at 26 years old? Were you a finished product? I know I wasn't.
Absolutely not. I was a bad man at 26.
He's going to grow as a human being, and I think a lot of the decision that he's making right now is who does he want to grow with? What organization does he want to be a part of his legacy? Because you have to think in terms of more than just your salary when you're talking about your next 15 years of your career, right? Yeah. You have to consider, where do I want to raise my family? Where do I, what are the tax situations like? What's my distance like to the ballpark? Do I have to, drive from Connecticut to get to, or can I live in, the suburbs of Toronto and have a 5-minute walk to the stadium? That type of thing. So there's a lot to consider.
With the Dodgers, listen, you can be 5 minutes away. It's still going to be 30 minutes away because of traffic. We know the Dodgers figured out also how to just get rid of the whole tax situation with signing bonuses and deferrals and all of that. But yeah, that's the main thing I want to know. And we know the talent is there, and everything we've heard since that World Series about the Yankees, everybody knew. You just had to wait for them to kind of, as Chris Taylor said, shit down their own leg. I've been trying to tell people who complain about the defense and all of that, Juan Soto will be a better player. He'll be a better defensive player. The StatCast numbers will go from the deepest blues to maybe a nice, very soft red if he's in Dodger blue, because of how they set their players up for success on the field. There's coaches there that tell them, hey, maybe you should go here. Here's a little card. You should stand here. This is where this player hits, and this is how this pitcher is going to try to pitch to him, all that. He would be a better player in Dodger blue. But going back to another thing you said, this is where I feel people are trying to talk themselves out of like Juan Soto, or maybe trying not to get hurt. Like, I'm if I, ask this girl out and she rejects me, whatever, she was a bitch anyways, it's like
preemptive cope.
It's preemptive copium for sure right there. And you could say, the team is a lot better, reallocating those assets other places. We know the Yankees need a first baseman, probably need a 3B. We'll need an outfielder if Juan Soto doesn't return, need some pitching help. And, $600 million over 12 years or whatever can help, fill a lot of those cracks. And the same with Dodgers fans, like 600 on top of a $700 million deal and a 325. And there's a lot of money going around. And, we love to say it's not our money and this team prints money or whatever. But at some point, something's going to break, something's going to give, and it's going to be a problem having all of those pieces. And then, a guy in his late 30s still trying to play either, at that point, DH or whatever the hell it is. I think Juan Soto can hit late into his 30s, but when you're talking about him defensively and on the base paths and then whatever, like those are things you can quantify. Yeah. You could look at the StatCast, you could try to get him better on those, but it's the Clubhouse thing. I want people to understand we're making up this narrative. Yeah, you're making up this narrative because he wore a Padres uniform for a year and a half. I think that's what it is. And the stink of Manny Machado, Jerickson Profar, Fernando Tatis, I think that's what Dodgers fans are really, really, sinking their claws into and holding on to, at least the fans that don't want Soto. The sentiment. Again, he lacks class. Yeah. He lacks character. You say no. You poo-poo on that.
He's a really great kid. He's a smart kid. When Scott Boras, and a lot of what comes out of Scott Boras's mouth is BS. When Scott Boras talked about him, he said he's a really methodical thinker, and I agree with that 100%. You can see it in his at-bats. He's going up there with a plan, and he's thinking through every pitch. He's playing chess up there, and I don't think you can be like that as a player without being like that as a person, right? It's like you can't just get on the field and just magically have a super high baseball IQ. And in terms of the other facets of his game, he gets compared to Ted Williams because he was a great hitter. And Kratz had a great point today on Foul Territory. He said, Ted Williams wrote a book on hitting called The Science of Hitting. He didn't write anything about fielding, and nobody cares. You get Ted Williams because he can hit. You get Juan Soto because he's a generational bat. And I'll tell you what, if you guys get him, you're going to really enjoy those mini battles. Those go back and watch the at bat that won the Yankees the pennant against the Guardians. I guess it was Tanner Bybee, I believe, was pitching. And it was an 8-pitch at bat, maybe 7 pitches. And you could see that Soto was trying to get him to throw the high fastball. He was like, I'm gonna spit on anything that's down low because it's gonna be breaking, or I'm gonna hit it on the ground. Anything that was up, if it wasn't up enough, he was almost intentionally swinging late just to spoil it. And he wanted that pitch right here. He said, I'm going to get under it, and I'm going to put backspin on it. And you could see him, you could see this unfolding in his mind. And I must have watched that at bat 10 times this offseason in its entirety. And it's one of the most professional at bats I've ever seen. And like I said, kid's all smiles. He's not going to be out partying with strippers. Yeah. He's a good kid. He's a kid. That's the most important thing. He's a kid.
He's but a young boy, been in this league since he was 18, grown up in this league. And he's had a lot of good veterans around him. Second year, first full season, won a World Series. It was a pretty good Yankees team. That was a long time ago. Nationals team that won that World Series in 2019. But that's all he's done is kind of grow. If anything, maybe a little bit of a hiccup with the Padres, just because there's a lot of we'll say questionable things the Padres like to do when you're just trying to go out there and play a baseball game. It's fun for baseball. I love seeing how much baseball has grown in San Diego, but yeah, it's also annoying. And I think people see the Soto shuffle and all of this stuff, which it feels to me like he's reduced that a whole lot. He doesn't do it as much.
Yeah, he'll do it in a big spot,
little gamesmanship.
Yeah, a little bit. Can I chime in on the Padres thing too? Because
absolutely.
I mean, I share with you in I think the assessment that the Padres are not good guys. Like we know who Manny Machado is. Like we've always known who Manny Machado is. When he was a free agent, the big hang up with some teams was who Manny Machado is. Yeah. We know who Tatis is. He's not the brightest bulb, in the light aisle at Lowe's. He's sharpest ball in the shed. I get you. Yeah. I mean, these guys are they've had their issues on and off the field. It shouldn't surprise anybody when they do classless things on the field, especially when it's been documented that it's been done before. In Machado's case, I think Soto didn't get along with those guys because he's quite frankly a different type of person. He's a professional. Like, you don't get to the big leagues at 18 and have the kind of success he's had without being just the consummate professional in every way that you can. Like, his mind is built different. He's Michael Jordan, okay? He's Tom Brady. He's you're looking at Machado, he's more like our Dennis Rodman, right? Great player, but a little bit of a shady dude, right? So that's just my opinion. Feel free to edit that out or cut it. But
no, I love that. I think for Dodgers fans that will really play up more as well, because that's a great way of listen. This isn't the whole reason I wanted you here. Is you're as far away from us as you can be. You are in New York. You are we'll just say East Coast. I don't want to dox you here. You are East Coast. You're probably, not you. You're crazy like all of us people on YouTube. You're up late. You're probably watching this shit as well. But still, you should be in bed while we're still playing baseball and all this. But still, the antics. You see the BS. And yeah, you saw a lot of Manny Machado in his younger years in Baltimore, making himself a low light reel with dumb shit. That's what he does. I said I wasn't going to keep you very long. I got two things for you. Where is your gut saying Soto will end up again? We got Yankees, Mets, Dodgers, Blue Jays, who we know the Blue Jays, they very much they have some money left after Shohei was not on that plane. They have some money that they really, really want to spend. But all those teams in, Red Sox apparently in. Where do you think he ends up?
My gut tells me
taking off the Yankee camp. Yeah.
My gut tells me the Mets. Look, I know that the Rogers family has all this money to throw at him. I just don't think he wants to play in Canada. I just don't think you can be the type of icon that he wants to be in Canada. I think that he wants to be as a part of the biggest Dominican population in America, which is New York City. They have over 700,000 Dominicans. I think that while he enjoyed his time with Judge and with the Yankees and the run that they had, I think he kind of wants to be the face of the franchise, right? Yeah. And when you consider that, along with the fact that Cohen's going to throw him an enormous payday, I think he's just going to go to the Mets. I've heard a few times over the past few years before he ever came to the Yankees that his favorite park to hit in was Citi Field and that he grew up watching the Mets. So I don't know how true either of those things are. He obviously didn't talk about that this year because he didn't want to set expectations or anything like that. The only thing that could potentially, I think, change things is if the Dodgers offer enough, because you'd be joining pretty much a World Series ready like dynasty, right? I mean, it would be like Durant to the, whoever, I don't follow basketball, but like
that one team, yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
well, we can go even older. We could say like LeBron going to the Heat or something like that.
Right, yeah.
That place, taking his
Exactly.
talent to South Beach, and Juan Soto very much could be taking his talents to Citi Field. Listen, I've maintained it all off season long, which is just a little over a month old. Steve Cohen's not going to be outbid in this, and it would be fun. I think just for baseball, it would be fun to see the Mets get better, continue to get better, having Soto alongside Francisco Lindor. That's a pretty dynamic 1-2 punch. And then whatever they end up doing with the rest of it, because we know Polar Bear is still a free agent. They need a good bit more pitching help and all that kind of stuff. Maybe, you guys on the East Coast should start doing that whole Dodger deferrals thing, and you'll feel a lot better.
Yeah, I don't know how the loopholes work or whatever, but I will say this for the Dodgers. They are being smart. I don't think it's an unfair thing. I don't think it should lead to a change in the game. I think if it's allowed, more teams should do it. Hell, George Steinbrenner invented that. When they said that players can change teams as free agents, a lot of guys were getting paid, I don't know, $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 if they're really good. Steinbrenner said, no, we're going to give Reggie Jackson and Catfish Hunter millions of dollars. And that began this whole thing. So it would be hypocritical of me as a Yankees fan and as a baseball fan to have an issue with that. And quite frankly, I like seeing super teams. Like, I want to see these historical things. I loved watching the 98 Bulls. I loved watching the 98 Yankees. Like, I want to see super teams. But I also like to see super teams lose. So it'd be fun to knock them off.
Hey, you know what? That's funny. I want to see. I'm still mixed. I'm hit or miss. I'm 50-50 on Juan Soto. Yeah, you want to add the bat, but I still worry about the money and the commitment with all the other commitments in there. But I really just want to see the Dodgers sign Juan Soto to watch the baseball landscape burn on all the social
that would
medias.
be a nuke.
John Heyman literally might actively cry on Bleacher Report. I don't know.
It would be like that scene in Terminator 2 where just LA just evaporates. Just Sarah Connor's up against the fence. That's what you're gonna see. It's just the shockwaves out of LA.
We should see something soon. Winter meetings this weekend. Derek Lewandowski, that's at Pinstripe. Derek, guys, give him a subscribe here on the YouTube. Give him a follow on all of the platforms that he is on, which is, I'm assuming, all of them, because we have to whore ourselves out that way when we do this for a living. But appreciate the time, Derek.
Appreciate it. Take care, man.
And we're back live. Appreciate once again Derek joining the show here, sharing an insight from a Yankees fan and somebody who has to watch the Yankees every single night, every single day, every game all season long. He also has to pay attention to every headline for all the teams going around because of his work with the Foul Territory Network. But the point is, he's somebody I trust sharing some Juan Soto insight, and was one thing. There's a number of things that he said during our chat that I really, really enjoyed, but there's one thing that really, really stood out to me when we're talking about Juan Soto and that Padres factor. It's that Juan Soto kind of didn't fit in that clubhouse because of his mindset. He's above the bullshit, above the antics that you see in San Diego. He doesn't give a fuck. That's why he would fit in with the Dodgers and Kike Hernandez and all that. All right, that was a forced fitment right there. That said, again, we'll circle all the way back to the news and why we were here initially. Teoscar Hernandez, again, reportedly close to re-signing with the Dodgers. And here's the big question. If he re-signs with the Dodgers, does that completely close the door on Juan Soto? I would assume. But these aren't, this Dodgers front office isn't the same front office that we saw in recent years, or even as recent as 2 or 3 years ago. Like, they have a lot of money. They're making money. They're putting money away for rainy days and for these deferred contracts and all that. And you get so much better if you have Soto and Teo in an outfield. That said, I prefer Teoscar Hernandez to come back. And then we're going to get more into comments. 2 super chats were in here, and voicemails will be coming up. So stay tuned for all of that. But give me Teoscar Hernandez. He wants to be here. It was a perfect fit in this clubhouse. I think if you don't have Teo, on this team for spring training. I don't think they survive everything. You bring in Shohei Ohtani. They had a quick bond together. Teoscar talked early in the season about them seeking each other out because they were the new guys in that clubhouse. So it's like, hey, we are going to be here together. We're going to assimilate into this team and become a whole thing. Become whatever that team became through adversity, through Ipe stealing and injuries and the Freddie Freeman situation. All of that bonding started in spring training, and it started with the type of vibes that Teoscar Hernandez brings to the table. And that's a big reason I would love to see Teo back. Now, Juan Soto, I will say, talking to Derek tonight, I'm less worried. I wouldn't say I was ever really worried, but I'm less concerned with the idea of Juan Soto being like a problem in the clubhouse or something like that. I don't think that is much of an issue. As we look, I don't know if Jorge is trolling us. Most likely is trolling us, but we'll entertain as we look off to the side here and make sure that there's no new Teoscar Hernandez news here on the internet. Appreciate you, Jorge, trying to be like, I read Teo is done. I'm like, hey, it's it just broke that it's a re-sign. But hey, let's do this real quick. We did have couple super chats while the clip was playing. One, a $1.99 super chat from our friend Richie Flores says Soto talked crap about us in 2019 and 2022. F Juan Soto, and Richie has very much kept that through line. Does not want Juan Soto in Dodger blue, and I understand that. I fully see his point and his reasoning why when you're comparing the apples to oranges of the other guy being Teoscar Hernandez, who is warm and bubbly and fun and exciting and a good clubhouse guy. Next, my God, this dude, the right field pavilion, $100 super chat during the clip. My sweet Lord, he says, like and subscribe to the All Dodgers podcast, hashtag Go Dodgers. So, guys, listen to the man. Or listen to the person who just dropped $100 on this show. Subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 8,500 subscribers. You could help. You could be that 8,500th person, and you win absolutely nothing. You win, I'll write your name on the wall. I don't even know how to find out who is exactly number 8,500. But let's hear more from people. Like I said, we had a couple of voicemails. I don't know that they're all extremely Soto-centric. I know our friend Richie is Soto-centric, but we had two come in yesterday and one from Richie today. So we got a shorty. I want to hear this shorty voicemail from, I don't remember who from, but here it is.
Mr. Clint Pasillas. What's up? Ramley Size here.
Okay.
Tomorrow I will be in San Diego. I'll be in full Dodger garb from head to toe. And I'm looking forward to asking every Padre fan I see, how do you like them apples? What do you think about Blake Snell bleeding blue? Biatch! I'm out.
Hey, we feel real good about Blake Snell being a Dodger. We haven't even talked that much about Blake Snell since he signed and since the presser. We will do that. We got more, we've got more conversation coming up here on the channel this week. Another one from our friend Denny Cortez, who called in. She called in at some point yesterday, and I want to hear what Denny has to say because I love these calls.
Mustard! Just kidding. This is Danny Cortez calling in. What's up, Clinton Nation? What's up to the Discord chat? Man, I'm on the 215, stuck in traffic. So I thought I'd call in. Well, today was the presser for Blake Snell, Snellzilla. And I gotta say, it's a celebration, as AM 570 was calling it. I'm actually feeling really good about this now because he did an interview on 570, and man, this guy, he really has a lot of respect for Kirsch. And so,
Love that.
if he's going to talk up my guy like that, then I got to be down for this guy being on the Dodgers now, because that was nice to hear. Like, he gave him a lot of respect, and I like that. I appreciate that. So I just wanted to share that with anybody who's still on the fence about Snell, like my brother, who's on the fence still about Snell. So, yeah, those are my thoughts. Thought I'd share them. Yeah, still stuck on the freeway. That's about it. All right, everybody. Have a good night. Drive safe. And stay the fuck off the 215 freeway, because fuck it. Okay, bye.
Hey, F the 215 freeway. If you know, you know. What was it? Somebody said Carnivorous Lunar Activity said, shit, it just went away. But said that 215 Denny is the best, and I can't disagree with that one. Oh, Donnie Boy saying Denny is on point. And Frank H with a $5 super chat. Thank you very much. Frank says, breaking Roki Sasaki to visit Legoland with you, Darvish, and Padres owner imminent. We got a troll. I don't have a drink. Well, I do have a drink, but I'll have this. I'll have this for the $5 super chat. All right, one last voicemail for the night, and then we will move on, call it a night. But Richie has some thoughts, his final thoughts on Juan Soto that he wants everybody to know. So here's some Richie Flores.
Oh, hey, Clint. Happy off-season to you. Even though I enjoyed my 4 days off this Thanksgiving weekend, it still was a rough one for me. I found out that the reason why my wife requested a room in Las Vegas that had mirrors above the bed, because she's always said that I'm a really bad lover and she wants to watch herself laugh. But I digress. So, in the Discord, Showtime LA and I have been having some really robust conversations that have gotten heated at times about the pros and cons of Soto. He's in for him, and I've already made my claim of why I don't want him, which I'll not bore you with the details again. However, I'm not stupid. If we do get Soto, I clearly understand what he means for our team and to our lineup. I just have deep concerns about his character. I have deep concerns about how he would fit into the clubhouse. And I have deep concerns about the money. And is he the guy that's going to stand between us and Teoscar? And how I really feel like he's a better fit for us. He's a Dodger. He's got heart. He has passion. And he's a mentally tough warrior. And he's got Dodgers written all over him. But at the end of the day, if we do get Soto, I'm not going to root against him. I'm not going to root for his failure because that would hurt our team. And again, I understand what he brings to the table on the field. It's off the field that drives me nuts. And I really hope we can still bring back Teoscar and Ferris and Kike, the guys that are true Dodgers. At the end of the day, it's about winning, right? But I'm concerned. I just don't want to have I'm just a big believer in class over rings. So, fuck the Dodger Stadium parking lot. Fuck Juan Soto. Bring back Teoscar. Fuck Manny Machado. Fuck the Padres. And for the love of God, fuck the Ghost Runner. See ya.
Richie Flores always bringing in hot on the All Dodgers voicemail hotline. Don't forget the first Dodgers YouTube channel doing call-ins and voicemails. One of the things I wanted to hammer into or focus on before we do get out of here, and guys, please do hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you've enjoyed anything that's happened tonight. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Unannounced stream between YouTube and Twitter. We have over 1,900 people live right now, so appreciate you guys hanging out. But one of the things Richie brought up, if we're talking about, the between Soto and the between Teoscar Hernandez. It's the fit. It's about the better fit. And Kenny Chung saying the class over rings. I think you got both. Honestly, I think you would have both. Talking to Derek tonight, listening to, I would suggest people go look at the clip of former Dodger and former Yankee or current Yankee Tommy Kahnle on Foul Territory today. He said, and I talked about it, with Derek. He loved Juan Soto. Maybe he's just saying it. Maybe that's one of those things you have to say when the best player on your team, one of the best players on your team, is currently a free agent. But he says, great guy in the clubhouse, great teammate. Better than he was expecting. Because there is this perception of Juan Soto being a prick. Even though, again, a lot of people can't really point to where they get this narrative. I think it's just kind of spread around. But the point being, we know how Teoscar Hernandez fits in this clubhouse. And Juan Soto, I don't have questions that he would be a great fit as well. He's a phenomenal bat. I believe he would get better being in a Dodger uniform, being in that organization. They will tighten up some of those loose parts of his game. Defensively, positioning, all of that kind of stuff. If he signs with the Dodgers, he's most likely playing left field anyways, where he's been better in his career. But the fit with Teoscar Hernandez, it's there. It's good. It's solid. And he's a great bat. Somebody who hit over 30 homers. He's a 30 and 100 guy, and he doesn't need to hit second or third. He can bat fourth, fifth, sixth, anywhere in that lineup and do it well and throw some seeds and have a smile on his face while he does it. Teoscar is a guy, if it's not both, I go Teoscar Hernandez. I don't think it'll be both. I go Teoscar Hernandez, and again, that's the rumor, that's the report. The expectation is Teo, we'll call it on the 10-yard line. Teoscar Hernandez, close to re-signing with the Dodgers, and that should most likely take them out of contention with Juan Soto. But that's about it. Pinsanity saying if they can improve Teoscar's defense, they could probably do it. Oh, he says they can also improve Teoscar's defense. They technically did in some ways. He was not good. His best spot is in right field, but he was kind of banished to left field because Mookie Betts moved back out to right field. So if you want the best version of Teo, he should probably be in right field, but also you need to kind of have Andy Pages out in right field. Even so, Peterbilt, I'm going with that. I'm going to end on that. Teo is fun to watch. He's a happy boy. I love him in LA, and this is where he deserves to be. But those are my thoughts, guys. If you're watching the show after it was live, sound off in the comments. Let us know again where you are on Teo versus Soto. How do you feel about Teoscar Hernandez most likely re-signing with the team? Because it feels like it's almost a foregone conclusion. But anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the comments, the questions, the engagement here on the channel. Guys, sticking through even though other people go live suddenly. When you're live, it happens. That's this business. Thank you for the super chats, Richie, and of course, Right Field Pavilion. Love that man. Love that person very, very much. Love them about $100 worth, whatever the hell that means. I also love our channel members, our YouTube members, our Patreon supporters here on the internet. Thank you guys for supporting. If you guys are looking for a different way to support the show outside of hitting that subscribe button, do check out patreon.com/realfrg or click the join button here on YouTube for $5 a month. You can help support independent Dodgers coverage. Again, it's just me. Everything I say here comes from my mouth. I have nobody telling me what I can or can't say outside of you guys. This is a show for you, by you. I don't know. Anyways, I don't want to get into a whole thing. But yeah, check it out. You also get access to our Discord server where we are talking about Dodger baseball all day long. So shout out to the mods for doing a kick-ass job in the chat. I understand we have some trolls in here. It always happens around this time of year. Still the best chat online, hands down, is on All Dodgers. I will take that one. I will fight anybody who says otherwise. All Dodgers is presented by Bet Online. I am Real FRG on all the social medias. The links are in the description. Again, hopefully we earned a thumbs up and a subscription from you on the way out. Subscribing is completely free. And we'll see you on the next one. Okay, bye.